Hey everybody, Questwise here, back again with another video for you all. Today we're going to take a look at something a little bit different. We're going to look at two Paizo products, one from Pathfinder and one from Starfinder. So let's head on down to the library and show you what we got to take a look at today. So the first thing we've got today is the Starfinder condition cards. These are 53 condition cards for Starfinder. Comes in this little, standard kind of flip box thing. These are $12.99, and the back it just kind of tells you about them. But let's take a look at the cards. So you get 53 cards. They're all illustrated. Each one of them has a sort of little illustration, and the rules for each of the conditions on here. So we got bleeding, asleep, blinded, confused. They are double-sided, and what's interesting about this is that on one side, here's asleep, and then on the other side is the sort of worst condition, unconscious. So there's every card there's bleeding, and then burning. So there's different conditions on each one. Usually the one on the flip side is the one that's a little bit worse. So blinded, deafened, it's kind of the confused, entangled. So interesting. What I thought when I first got these is that these are great. This is really good stuff, but it's going to be a little weird because you might want to have more than just one confused card, right? There might be more than one player character that's confused at a time, and so you would have to buy multiple decks of these. But I was wrong. There's actually 3 sets of each one. So there's 3 sets. Of 20 or so cards, and then there's 3 of each. So you're going to get 3 confused, 3 incorporeal, 3 nauseated, off kilter, that kind of stuff. So really cool. Thanks to Paizo for thinking of that, of having that foresight of realizing, hey, it's going to really suck to buy 3 or 4 decks of cards to be able to cover all the player characters that might be confused or blinded at a time. But you do get 3 sets of these full things. Also in the back of here, of course, the open and gaming license thing they have to include. But there's a little rule card that tells you how to use these in your game. And then on the back there is of course, an ad for their combat pad, which is really cool. By the way, I took a look at that today. May do a review of that. I didn't pick it up today, but I may pick it up and do a review of that later. It's very cool. It seems like it's made out of metal, like a magnetic type thing. So that's really awesome. But so for $12.99, great. And you know me, I've talked about this before. I love having cards, and I love having doodads and chits and markers and tokens in my game. And these are fantastic. They're very high quality, nice cardboard. I don't think I'll even need to sleeve these ever. Very cool. Each one of them has some great artwork on it. Sometimes it's very humorous, all done in Space Goblin style and stuff as well too. So very cool stuff. Bleeding, burning, good stuff. So every kind of condition you will need for Starfinder is found in this deck of cards. So very cool. That's the first product I wanted to take a look at today. The second one I wanted to take a look at was the Pathfinder comic book put out by Dynamite. This is the first issue, which is called Hollow Mountain, I believe. Yeah, Hollow Mountain right here at the top. It's the Fried Pie edition, which I'm not sure, it's a variant cover. I'm not sure what Fried Pie is, but that's pretty awesome. This came out a few years ago, but the reason I wanted to talk about this today was because I miss the days where there were, I would call these, I like to affectionately refer to these as extracurricular activities when it comes to role-playing games. I miss the days when there were tons of novels available, and Dragon and Dungeon Magazine were out there, and you had access to all this cool extracurricular stuff that was useful outside the game, or at least kept the fun of the game going even when you couldn't play. And that's what these kind of things do for me. When I'm not playing, when I don't have a chance to play, when I don't have a group available, or somebody cancels, or something happens, But I still want to do some kind of stuff. I can turn to this kind of thing. I can turn to Pathfinder, the comic book. I can still live in that kind of world for a little while, and that's what sort of the novels, the old D&D novels used to do for me. There used to be tons of those. Now only Salvatore is writing for them right now. They've basically canceled sort of their fiction line and stuff as well. But so yeah, I love this kind of stuff. I love this kind of thing. So let me crack this open here, and I'll show you what's inside. So let's see if I can zoom out here just a little bit, and we'll try to. Oh, that's way too much. All right, there we go. All right, so on the inside here, we've got some great. Let me try to focus in on this a little more. There we go. The artwork in this is fantastic. The artwork in this is probably better than what I've seen in a lot of, current Marvel and DC stuff right now. Very, very cool. The storyline is very what you would expect from a gameplay session. So we have our iconic characters. If you've played Pathfinder at all, these people will all look familiar to you. These are the iconic characters that they created to illustrate illustrate concepts in the books and stuff. So these are all going to look very, very familiar to you. The text in this, like I said, the artwork is beautiful. The text in this is hilarious because it reads like a gameplay session. The characters, the characters themselves are ribbing at each other. They're making in character jokes. They're they're kind of poking at each other. You can tell that they've traveled a long ways together because of the kind of connections that they have. Sorry about the glare there. It's typical quality for a comic book, glossy pages. Dynamite's been around for a while. They put out some really, really cool stuff. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit more here. Yeah, there we go. Can we focus here? I'm playing with some new settings on my camera because I want these to be a little better than that crazy. If you saw some of the last videos, I had this weird pulsing thing where everything was trying to focus all the time. So playing with some settings, so bear with me today. But very, very cool stuff. Now, the coolest thing about this entire comic, and I'm not going to show you all of it because it's awesome. I don't want to give you any kind of spoilers and stuff, some ads. In the back of here, they give you a short scenario to play. So like you've read the comic, and now you have this cool short scenario with NPCs and monsters that you can just drop into any Pathfinder game. This is awesome. This is the reason why I wanted to showcase it today. Like I said, the comic's a couple years old now, but at least this first issue is a couple years old now. But I wish game companies would do more of this stuff. I would love to see more of this kind of stuff. So game companies, if you're watching this, please take note of this. This is what, as players, we want. We want these extracurricular kind of things that we can play with and read through and be a part of that world, but we also want to bring that stuff back into our game. The other cool thing about this, not only did they put a small scenario in the back of this, but inside the comic itself was this cool poster, right? And I'm like, okay, cool piece of artwork. And then I flipped it over and I realized it's an actual playmat for the scenario that they've included in the game. This is perfect. This is great. Thank you, Paizo. Thank you to Dynamite Entertainment. Thank you for doing this kind of stuff. This is amazing. So now I've got the scenario. I don't have to worry about drawing it out. I can just drop this on the table. I've got the the playmat first Strikehold right here for this little scenario, ready to go. It doesn't come with the little tokens, but I can find zombie tokens or whatever these things are, right? Or miniatures or whatever for those things. This is very, very cool. So I just want to share that with you today and let everybody know, hey, this is I really fondly remember these kind of things where we had, Dragon magazine with cool scenarios and, Dragon was more articles and cool new classes and rules, where Dungeon was much more of the scenario and adventure-driven kind of thing. But so a couple little products I just wanted to share with you today: Pathfinder and Starfinder. If you haven't checked out Starfinder, please go back and watch my review of that. It's a little older now. I think next week I want to come back and revisit Starfinder because they're doing some really cool stuff with Starfinder lately, and I'm really excited about it. And I've changed my few of my opinions on Starfinder, but for the better. So come back and check that out next week. But until next time, I'm Questwise. Game on, and I'm out.